baby, up 205 on the day. This is a new record. I've never gotten close to being ever up $205 on the day. Wow. I made all of it on ALVR. And once I hit over to 200, I just could not get myself to get onto another stock on LLAP. I saw this breaking out. I saw it having an front side. And I just couldn't get myself to get on it because I had no idea how this stock trades. I haven't been monitoring it. I don't know how it feels. And I had to stay away. I didn't want to start giving back profits on the day because I'm up so much already. And it would feel shit. I would feel like shit if I started giving back profit after having the biggest green day of my career. So I'm going to have to let this one go without me. Unfortunately, let's look at the daily on this one. Yeah, this could really do a red to green. Who knows? This could squeeze out all the way to 12, 13, 14. But I got to let it go without me. I got to call it here. Up 205. Biggest green day I've ever had. And it's just so rewarding. Because yesterday I thought I had the biggest green day ever, which was $135, which I just did a recap on this morning. And now here I am sitting here up 205. I never thought I would sit down here the next day and break another record by a long shot. I thought, sometimes, after a green day, I'm like, okay, I gotta, manage my confidence level. I don't want to get overconfident because usually after a big green day, I have a big red day. And I thought this would be the day. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to size down a little bit, be a little bit more patient, look for the obvious stock. And ALVR popped up at the open. And I was like, this is the stock that everyone is watching. This is the stock that everyone was watching. There was other stocks at the open that people were watching. There was a CRXT was one. We had, what was that other one? Wint. So CRXT and Wint were the two other gappers on the day, and AGRI as well. And I was kind of monitoring everything, and I knew we could break over this. It's pretty much the same setup as there was yesterday that I nailed on STSS. So I was looking for the break of this pivot and for it to hold, support in the 90 MA and VWAP and looking for the break of the high. And, I was kind of getting chopped up in this area here. I was just taking a bunch of scalps. I will put in my trades, actually. I'll show up my trades. So here at the open, I did a scalp here. I was looking for, maybe it would get a front side before I open, but, it didn't have enough volume to break the previous pivot and hold above it. So it was a small scalp. And then at the open, immediately, it dipped down and then it was starting to retest $7, $7.05. I started buying, and taking off into the pop. And then here on this candle, it was starting to reclaim this previous topping tail. So I started adding for a potential run through this previous high, but it did get stuffed as well, and it closed under this candle, so I started taking it off. And it just didn't seem as strong. So I took some off, and then I added 50 shares back at 707 because this candle, is a false... No, it's before the false breakout, sorry. This goes LLAP. It just stopped at $8. I can't trade that. I can't. I can't. If I start giving back profits, I just don't want to be in a state of regret. But it's part of being a trader, but if the opportunity is there, I should be trading it, but I don't know. I just had the biggest green day ever. I'm up over 200. If it even got down to like 199, I'd feel like I'd need to like make $1 just to get to 200. So yeah, let's not do that. So here, this candle was the third candle, and it was still holding $7. It was holding $7, and I was reading the tape. Every time it would dip down, there'd be buyers buying it up, buyers buying it up, buyers buying it up a little bit. And then eventually, people started catching on, and they started retesting 710, 715, and I took it off. into this candle, and I was able to capture a couple cents on that. It was a false breakout and a dip down below, and this candle immediately reclaimed the 9 EMA, so I knew it was strong, and I was getting aggressive. 200 shares, taking some off at 706. That was actually a small loss there, actually. And then we had another false breakout here, and I was like, okay, there's a lot of false breakouts. We might need to have a bigger pullback to capture some more shorts. Maybe the bulls will still step in and have a little short squeeze here. Here is a small scalp on the false breakout, 2 cent loss. Then here I had a panic dip buy looking for the reclaim of 7, and I was just kind of scalping the range here, and I captured 4 cents there. However, I was still holding 100 shares at this point, and it dipped down a little bit too low, and I immediately I was like, okay, I gotta sell here. But then it dipped down even lower, and I saw, people were supporting it. There was buyers supporting it, and I was like, you know what? I gotta add back. I changed my thesis on the flip of a dime, and it paid off. I was in 400 shares. This is about a $2,800 position size, and then I added more at 714 as it was reclaimed $7, and it was running up towards the highs, and I started taking it off, right at this breakout level. I didn't want to take any chances, and I just started scaling out 100 share lots. Then I added back all the way up here for the break of 750, and then it ran up, broke 750. It took it off for a 10-cent win. But on 500 shares, I was able to, 400 shares, I took a 20-cent win, a 30-cent win. That was $150 right there. It's insane. At that point, I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm on a roll right now, and I just beat my previous record from yesterday. And now here I'm looking for, at this point, so we're over 750, the previous high. And now I'm looking for, a pullback. And I was getting aggressive, 350 here on the pullback, looking for, a break of $8. We got the break of $8, and I took it all off. Unfortunately, I couldn't sell fast enough, and I was getting some real bad sells at 780, 788. So I left some money on the table there. I could have had some more if I would have sold at 100 share increments instead of 50, because it just took too long to get all my my orders out. So that's another thing I have to work on. If I'm in 350 shares, I'm gonna have to click the button 6 or 7 times for me to get fully out. So on a scalp like that, on a frontside scalp through a break of a whole dollar, maybe I should be taking off 150 shares at a time instead of 50. And so it'd only be 2 or 3 clicks rather than 6 or 7, and I'd be able to get better fills. So 766, I added back on the dip, looking for a retest of the 9 EMA. So I got 250 and kind of scalping the range. So about like a 1 cent win there. I was holding 50 shares, added back at 259 for the 9 EMA retest, and I got a nice 6 cents on that one. Dip back down again to the 9 EMA, and then this one, the volume started coming in, so I added back, and I took that one off for another 7 cents. And I was still holding 50 shares, and I took it off. I was looking to buy for the false breakout. For the breakout. However, it was a false breakout, and I was buying on this level, and this is where I kind of tripped over myself, and I kind of lost some money because I was buying. I bought at $8. My fill was at $7.90. Is looking for the breakout, and I held all the way down through here to 667, took some off, and then I was adding even lower, 766, 760. I thought I was going to hold the 9 EMA. It dipped a little bit too low, started selling for a loss, and I took $30 loss off of the top of my gain. So I was up at this point, I was up like 186, I think, and then I took off 30. I was only up, I still had a record high of 155. And kind of scalped off the VWAP here. I should have held this a little bit longer because look at that. Wow, 60 cents. And then I started, chasing it a little bit too late here. I still made 110 cents, 7 cents there.
This one was a small loss. I was able to, I was still, scalped. At this point, I didn't really make money here. I didn't make money at all here. Maybe a little bit. I was up maybe 160, 156, something like that. And then it dipped down below the 9 EMA, and I was just reading the tape, looking at the level 2. And every time it dipped down to 50, in the 50s, it was getting bought up, 50s, and get bought up. And then it was a very low selling volume candle, and what made it a higher volume candle is because every time it dipped below, the buying volume was so much, and it was just the selling volume was low, but the buying volume was high off the lowering candle here of the wick here on the bottom, and it was I could tell that there was a lot of buyers supporting this, and it was an ABCD setup. Here's your first dip, and it was a higher low, and we had sort of like a flat top breakout potentially. So I took a starter position at 761. I had my thesis, and then as it reclaimed this level here, I gunned it 779, 784, 785. Started taking off on a break of $8. It went up to 850. I could have held a little bit longer, but me being already up so much on the day, I didn't want to gamble so much of the profits I made on this breakout at 10 o'clock. So it was a good move that I took my profits relatively quickly. 200 shares at 782. It's about 600, 1600, maybe 1500 position size. Pretty solid. Then added a dip. Got a couple scalps on the dip here, and that was it. That was my trades on ALVR. I had a scalp pre-market on SEV. On SEV, I got this dip here and sold into this false breakout. I was able to capture a couple dollars. And Wint, very small trade on Wint. Kind of just testing the waters here off the 9 EMA. Maybe we were seeing a run back to the highs, but just the volume wasn't there. It's very not choppy. Sorry, it was very barcode-ish. Didn't really have enough volume to be opening up. I mean, on this stock, at the open, there was only 200,000, 500,000 shares traded, and you need about, on a $1 stock, I'm looking for 2 or 3 million for it to, potentially open up and have a good front side. But that didn't happen on Wind. So, but the reason I was sort of boosting my confidence on ALVR is that as it was holding this level at the open, by this time, by 9:35, Wint, CRXT, and AGRI all flushed, and all the long traders, day traders, there was nothing else on the table anywhere else in the market here on small caps. ALVR was the only one that had a relatively low float, high volume catalyst, and it was holding its range. And all the other stocks flushed below their support. It was entering a downtrend, and this was the only stock holding up. And so that made me even more confident when it was holding the 9 EMA and VWAP. And I knew we were going to get at least a test of the highs after this candle. And I took it off here. It kind of stalled out in the 20s and the 30s. Added back at the 30s. And was able to hold that for the breakout. Unfortunately, wow, CRXT, here we go. Here we go, CRXT. Out of nowhere, volume out of nowhere. Look at this candle. 2 million. This is a potential move to 228. Right now, I would consider putting in my starter here. If it adds lower, maybe add if it shows support at 210. I would still be holding a starter, still be holding. I would really be looking for 228 on CRXT, especially on this high volume. Let's look at the daily. LLAP has been entering a downtrend since the open of that previous hold up. It's looking good. Yeah, it is looking good here, CRXT on the daily. I might have to trade it. So it dips down here. It's got to hold 210. I would be adding to my position here. Maybe adding a little bit more. See how all the green on the tape as it's dipping down? Right at 210. You know, it dipped down to 207, but it didn't hold there. And because it didn't hold there, you know, bulls are still in control. So I'd be adding my position here. Still at 210. Now, you know, now at this point, you know, I'm reluctant to keep adding to my position because it's not as aggressive as I thought it would be. If it was really aggressive, this candle would turn red to green, and that's when you want to be adding super aggressively. You know, like slapping the ass, looking for the break at 222 up to the highs. But because it's a little bit sluggish, you know, I wouldn't be adding too much right now. I would still be holding, you know, maybe a starter plus 1 or 2 adds. So maybe about, there we go. Now, there you go. Now you want to be adding. Adding. I mean, even if you would have added here, you know, you would have had an average. You know, if you put your starter here at 215, added on that dip at 212, your average would be 214. You'd be up 6 cents. That's pretty good on a $2 stock. It's a 3 or 4% win. Right now it's holding this level. You know, I would maybe take some off here, maybe one lot. You know, dipping down again. So now really dipping down. I might have to form some more of a consolidation. But you see, every time it dips down close to this level, there's a lot of green going on the tape. That's how, you know, I'm able to be confident buying dips like this. But there is always a fear in the back of my head that, you know, you dips and then it fucking just like dumps 10%, like all the way down, you know, and panics everyone out. That's happened to me before. So obviously I've learned my lesson many times and I'm able to, you know, read the tape. Tape reading is almost essential for dip buying because you don't want to be buying every dip. Some dips will just enter a halt down, and then that's where you really, you know, destroy your day, your week, or your month. Definitely got to be careful. Yeah, who knows here? You know, might need to retest the 9 EMA, you know, dip down below to 205. You never, I don't know here. This little false breakout here, now, you know, I'm reluctant to be adding to any position if I were in this trade. I'd really, yeah, see it. We're getting that dip below 210. Now, really, you want to see buyers in here. If there's no buyers in here, it starts gapping down to $2, which we are seeing right now. Now, you know, I'm thinking about stopping out. Because here we go. Here's that dip that's just, you know, you don't want to be buying. Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. That's a pretty harsh pullback. This probably wouldn't be in play right now for me. I would want to wait for it to be really strong, reclaiming 210 and up towards 215. All right, well, that's it for me. Finishing the day up $205. Wow, I never thought. Well, no, I thought I would get to this day one time, like eventually in my life. You know, I knew I would get to the point where I'd be able to make $100 or $200 day trading. But damn, does it feel surreal when you're finally here? Like just to see that number, 205. I struggled so much just to make $10 or $20 a year ago. I was like in so much pain of just constantly waking up and losing money every day, and just to finally be at this moment of growth after all the work that I put in, it just feels so good. And it's hard not to it's hard not to be expressive of all this joy and fulfillment that you're feeling. But when you're putting in something so much effort into and you're finally seeing results and it's finally coming together, it's just, you have to let it out. You have to like at least, tell fellow traders or like post your accomplishments, because it does give motivation to other people who are, in the trenches, waking up every day and losing money. And that one day, you're gonna get to the point where you can make consistent money. But right now, who knows how much higher this can go? Maybe tomorrow I make a new high. Who knows? I have no idea. Maybe tomorrow I get overconfident and I lose it all. Everything I made the past 2 days, I'm down $300. Maybe that happens. And so I always have to manage my confidence. I always have to remember that it only takes one trade where I'm not disciplined and I let go of myself and I become emotional and become attached to getting green. I could give it all back in an instant. It could happen in an instant. It's already happened to me before, and hopefully, I've learned my lesson a year ago when that happened, or 2 years ago. A year ago when it happened, and I'd never do that again. I hope it's sticks in the sand or sticks in the concrete. Why would I say sand? Sand is easily, washed away, but it needs to stay in concrete. I can never do that again. I can never lose $1,000 or $2,000 in one day when my green days are only $100 or $200. But it could happen, and I need to, stay in like, there we go. But you need to stay in this area where, you're confident, but you're not overconfident, but then you're also not underconfident to where you're not taking trades with size when the setup is clear and obvious and when the market is strong. And so I just have to stay in that middle, that middle path of being confident. Because when I'm overconfident, you see something like this and you're just sizing in like 2-3x of what you would normally do. And you'd be like, you're just looking at the dollar signs of like, this is going to break out and halt up. And before you know it, it's breaking support and you're holding on to it because, you're sure it's going to break out. And then it gaps down and halts down. And you just ruined weeks of gains. So I just need to make sure I don't fall into that tomorrow. I need to, come tomorrow to the trading screen with a beginner's mindset, the beginner's mind of, anything can happen today. It could be green, it could be red. Anything that happened today is not a reflection of what's going to happen tomorrow, because I was green today is not going to mean I'm going to have green tomorrow or I'm going to make a new high tomorrow. So I just need to look at the market separate from what it was today. And if I can do that, then I'm going to be able to, live to trade another day, and I would not be in a huge drawdown. And that's what's important. So that's what I'm going to leave at today. A bit of a longer trading recap, but very, very solid day today. Super proud of everything I've been putting into this. It's finally paying off. It feels amazing. I hope that you guys watching this know that, if you put so much time and effort into something and you really wanted to succeed, it's just all about the time. You're put in your necessary ingredients, consistency over a long period of time, consistent effort over a long period of time. The only last element to that is time. And that's something you can't control other than just showing up every day. And if you do that, you just show up in every day and you put in your consistent effort, over a long period of time, it's inevitable that you will be successful. It's just a matter of time. That's it. That's the last variable to your equation. And that you just need patience, and eventually you will succeed. So that's it for now. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next day trading recap. Hopefully I'm not making a recap for my largest, biggest red day. And here we go. CRXT's breaking out. Let's see if it's going to hold 223. And it might be a false breakout. Wow. We'll see. I don't know. I'm done trading though. I'm going to close it down because I do not want to be giving back profits here. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And see you guys on the next day trading recap. Peace.